year ago. We initially found out one night we were just sitting on the couch, and I just noticed her shoulder blade on the right side kind of protruding, and she seemed kind of hunched over. And that was really the first time we really noticed I took note of anything really being wrong, and we wanted to have checked out. So we took her to a general physician who sent us to an orthopedic specialist, and that was where they first diagnosed her. Her original recommendation was, she said, you will probably be a candidate for surgery at some point. Mercy had begun puberty and was in a growth, and probably done quite a bit of growth very quickly, which could have been one of the things that contributed to that curve.
Personally, I did not feel any pain, actually. I mean, I did understand that my back could have been a little bit off just because of some of the ways in my posture. I was probably mostly scared because the first time I actually got diagnosed, it was by a different doctor, and they actually recommended surgery at the degree I was at. Myself, I am scared of surgery.
In traditional orthopedic treatment or management of scoliosis, the overwhelming consensus is that surgery is the only effective treatment in trying to reduce a scoliosis. And it's not necessarily that it's true, it's just they have no other training. They're surgeons, they're trained in surgery, so therefore that's their exposure, that's what they're experts at, and thank God they are, because somebody's life is in their hands when they're doing surgery. However, that's pretty much where they're going to end up. Like at some point, curves are going to progress, and if it becomes severe enough, surgery is recommended. For me, surgery is a last resort type of treatment, meaning that we've tried conservative treatment, meaning good, effective conservative treatment, not just putting on a Boston brace and hoping it doesn't worsen, like using therapy, rehabilitation, home therapy, home exercises, corrective bracing, and we don't get a change, and the curves can still progress. Or there's the other unfortunate situation that curves actually don't get diagnosed early enough, and they come in with severe scoliosis. Now, normally those things we can reduce, but we may not be able to get them below surgical standards. And Mercy's a perfect example of that. Like by the time I saw her, she was already 65 degrees. She's had some conservative care that wasn't effective, and the curve was progressing. And now, of course, they were recommending surgery as being one of those options. Obviously, our goal was to try to reduce it below surgical levels. But if we can improve her function, we can improve her balance, and we can improve all of these things that scoliosis is affecting, and simultaneously reduce her curve. Let's say we theoretically don't get it below 40 degrees, but we get it close. She can prevent surgery, live a healthy, functional life, and have very little effects as a result of the scoliosis, and not have the risk of scoliosis surgery.
We really didn't know what other options we had after the diagnosis and the recommendation of surgery. My wife was very faithful and just kind of scouring the internet and looking for various things about scoliosis treatment. That's when we found out about the CLEAR method, and that led us to Dr. Tony. And realizing that he was a senior fellow at the CLEAR Institute it doesn't get any better than that.
I've known that many people across not only the United States, but across the entire world come to Dr. Tony, and I think we're lucky to actually have him fairly close by to where we live.
Mercy's been a real trooper through this. We've tried to keep her in the loop about everything that's going on so that she could be part of the process and the decision making, because I knew that if she was on board, then she would actually do the work. So she needed to understand what was actually happening and why it was important. It needed to be important to her.
The treatment, it's not painful at all. I mean, especially if you're getting a brace, it may be extremely uncomfortable at times, but the actual treatment itself isn't all that bad. Most of the machines just like jiggle or vibrate, so there's nothing that really actually is like painful.
One of the complaints regarding scoliosis treatment is the lack of compliance, and orthopedics talk about it all the time that they don't even want to prescribe braces to kids because they normally don't comply. They don't wear the brace, they don't do their home care, they don't do home exercises. And one portion is because they don't see results very quickly. So they're doing this stuff and normally their curves are just worsening and they're not really getting any better. So once you can get a patient to really commit to the process for like 90 days, being involved and understand the responsibilities that are involved, understand the consequences that are involved if the curve worsens, what we're looking at, and if the curve gets better, what we're looking at too. Once you take that ownership and they start seeing results, patients get very committed and they start feeling the sense of fulfillment and achievement as they see their spine improve and their body improve and their posture improve. So if you can have that happen, get them committed, and then at the same time show them the results of that commitment with actual improvement, not just trying to hold the spine from worsening or delaying the surgery, but actually seeing improvement in their posture and their spine and on x-rays, I mean, you're going to have a patient that's going to keep their spine healthy for the rest of their life.
She's been very faithful at doing her home exercises that come after the intensive treatment. That's just as important as the intensive. She's given exercises that are done in brace and some that are done out of brace. And so we kind of split those up through the day to make it easier.
Since last year, it has decreased a lot. About like the right side or one of the sides of my scoliosis, it decreased about, I think, 25 degrees or 15 degrees since I was last diagnosed with scoliosis, and that was over a year ago. Not only do they take x-rays, but they generally also measure your weight, your balance, your height, everything about you, so you can really see how much your scoliosis has decreased since then.
So Dr. Paul Harrington, the doctor who actually invented the Harrington rod, said that the scoliosis is more than just affects the spine. It affects the entire body. And if surgeons are saying that we have to have surgery on scoliosis because as curves get bigger, they start affecting other things, well, we should be checking those things. We should be checking those things as curves also progress, but also as they get better. So we look at direct measurements of the spine. Obvious ones are x-rays and spinal measurements, but we look at other things like balance and breathing and range of motion and posture analysis and looking at these things and how they also worsen as curves get worse, but also how they get better as scoliosis gets better.
The staff are very kind, and I think the best part is that they totally support Dr. Tony's choices over the way he does scoliosis and the way he treats it properly. It's not just that he's a chiropractor helping and adjusting everybody like normal chiropractors would do, but he's looking to solve a new solution for those who don't want to go through either surgery or go through more intensive ways to cure their scoliosis. Everybody here plays a very big part, and I'm glad that they have the team.